What's going on today, guys? Stix10 here, and we are going to talk about Alolan Raichu. The first battle here, we're getting right into it, and it's up against Toxicroak. I want to see how much this Mud Bomb is going to do. I do survive it, but you can see it does a ton of damage, obviously, because it's super effective to Alolan Raichu. So definitely going to have to use a shield against Toxicroak to win that battle. After that point, it is totally winnable. You can see I bring out Lucario, and he brings out his own Alolan Raichu. We're going to block this Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch and you're going to want Wild Charge as the two charge moves, and then Spark for the fast because it gives you quick energy. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, Spark, but it does give you that energy super quick. And you can see Lucario can win this battle with two shields versus one. So are you really winning if you're using two shields on Lucario? The answer is probably not. But he does save Toxicroak. Toxicroak comes back out against Skuntank. I'm in a bad position. It is not looking good for my Skuntank. We hit the crunch, and we're going to take out Toxicroak. I didn't want it to get to another Mud Bomb or do any more damage to the counter. And then there's his Gallade, which knocks me out very quickly with Fast Move. And here we go, Crawdaunt versus Hitmonchan. He switches to Gallade. I have to switch, and we switch into Raichu. He hits a Leaf Blade, I believe. Yeah, there's a Leaf Blade, and you can see that does a lot of damage as well. And that's part of the problem with Alolan Raichu is it's fairly squishy. You've got to use shields. You're going to have to, if you lead with it, it's going to need a shield. If you have it later in the match, it's going to need one shield probably to survive. So there are certain matchups I think it does really well in. Obviously it does okay against the fighting types because it resists the fighting type damage. It doesn't do as well against Toxicroak since it does have Mud Bomb. But it does pretty well again. Here's Hitmonchan. It's doing okay. It's holding its own. But you are using shields to save it a lot of times. And so he brought back out Crawdaunt, and you can see we do a little bit of damage there with counter that is powered up, and then we get hit with Nightshade, and we've got a little bit of lag there, and we get hit a Drill Peck here. That should be the game, and we are victorious in that one. And that's just, I think, so here's Poliwrath leading off, and we got Skuntank, and we've got, you can see how quickly Poliwrath is getting to that power-up punch. Obviously, it's going to be the quickest to power-up punch in this meta. I believe it's taking four mud shots to get to power-up punch, whereas counter is taking 5. And then here it is against Alolan Raichu. Obviously, we're not doing a whole lot of damage, and that's part of the problem with having Mudshot on it, whereas if we have counter, it does a lot more. But it takes down, you could see Mudshot that was powered up, was actually doing quite a bit of damage to Alolan Raichu. So Alolan Raichu versus Alolan Raichu, we're going to block the first. Didn't really need to block Thunder Punch. Now, obviously, it's not going to be super effective. Here's the second Thunder Punch he sends off. There you go. You can see it does about 20% my HP, and we hit Thunder Punch. This should knock him out unless he blocks it. All right, there you can see he allows it to go down to the Thunder Punch. He sends out Skuntank, already damaged from earlier in the battle. We block that crunch because it would be super effective, and we hit back with our own Thunder Punch. And that's the thing with Alolan Raichu, it can get off a lot of damage fairly quickly. You are just going to have to use shields, and once shields are down, honestly, you can go for that Wild Charge, and it does quite a bit of damage to a lot of the Mons in the meta, especially your flying types like Murkrow, Xatu. Very positive matchups there. It has a positive matchup against Poliwrath as well, being a water type. And so those are some of them where Raichu is going to thrive. Some of these that it's in right now, like against Gallade, it doesn't do as well, but it still can do quite a bit of damage. You can see even energy to start with, and Thunder Punch does quite a bit. to Gallade since it wasn't blocked. And we block that Leaf Blade because we know that's going to do quite a bit to us. And then here we should have hit. I was trying to save enough energy, and instead I go down with a ton of energy left over, and that was my mistake. I should have definitely hit the Thunder Punch and got rid of that, or at least made him use a shield. And so here we've got to block this. It's a Thunder Punch. It's going to be super effective. You can see Spark is actually doing quite a bit. We switch out to Lucario to save our Murkrow, because honestly we can't do a whole lot else. And we do go down, but he does spend a shield. No Protect Shield remaining. Power Up Punch does quite a bit to Murkrow, and we go down to counters with him still having 2 Mons. Definitely you can see we put ourselves in the hole there in that match. This one we start off with Hitmonchan versus Skuntank. Pretty good matchup for us, and you can see good switch out by him to switch into Xatu on our Power Up Punch. So we switch to Alolan Raichu. These are one of those matches where Xatu is going to lose. Like, even with shields, I think it's going to lose as long as I have a shield. There's Aerial Ace. I actually think later on I do take an Aerial Ace, and we can see how much damage it actually does. And so here I actually build up a little energy. I have to spend another shield because I'm afraid I'm going to lose my Alolan Raichu, and we already have built up a ton of energy. So he sends out Skuntank, and we hit Thunder Punch right away because we want to get that damage off. He spins his last shield. There we go. We're set up now. But the problem is we're going to go down to this Sludge Bomb on that Skuntank. And here's Hitmonchan coming out. Get up a Power Up Punch pretty quick, and that's going to take out Skuntank. We get the boost. Here comes Lucario. We do quite a bit of damage to Lucario, and then our Spirit Tomb comes out, and we should be able to get to that Ominous Wind very quickly and knock out Lucario before he can get to the Shadow Ball, which he would, or a Pup. So here we go against Johnny O here from Bracket 5 in the PvP server, or the, Battle Park server. I lead with Alolan Raichu versus Hitmonchan. He's going to have to block these, and if he doesn't, it's going to do a ton of damage. You can see it did about 50% damage to his Hitmonchan. He did get an attack boost, so that's going to do quite a bit. He can hit another Pup there, and we do block this Pup because I don't want to go down to that damage. We hit a Thunder Punch. He should just allow his Hitmonchan to go down. And then he sends out Muck, which is going to do just a ton of damage to my Alolan Raichu. We send out Toxicroak, which is going to do super effective damage to it. He sends out Spirit Tomb. We hit Sludge Bomb, see how much it does to the Spirit Tomb. It does about, 30-40% there HP, so not a terrible use of that. He hits Ominous Wind, which almost knocks us out. And we hit a Mud Bomb, which should finish off Spirit Tomb unless he blocks it. He does decide to block it. We've each got one shield. So pretty even matchup here against Spirit Tomb. He hits another Ominous Wind. Still no power-up boost there for him. We send out Shiftry. Razor Leaf is just going to do a ton of damage to anything he sends in. He hits Dark Pulse, which actually does a lot. But you can see, look at how much Razor Leaf is doing. But we're going to fall fairly quickly to that Alolan Muck. Fortunately, we just got in too much of a hole, and Razor Leaf we don't have the right moves on our Shiftry yet, but Razor Leaf does do quite a bit of damage. Hitmonchan with the Power Up Punch there against the Skuntank. He's going to let this first one go through, and you can see how much that counter damage is doing. We hit a shield, and to save our Hitmonchan, we've got all this energy built up. We're going to have to hit some moves fairly quickly here. We hit a Pup right off the bat against Umbreon. He is going to have to block that. No chance he does not. And look at how much damage we are doing. We hit another Pup, so we've got 3 times boost on this bad boy now. And look at those counters just flying. We're doing quite a bit. He's gaining some energy on us, but I'll take that, when we can take him down. And he did spend quite a bit on that Dark Pulse. So we're in a good situation here. We send out Spirit Tomb. Spirit Tomb's not going to do super effective damage because it's got ghost moves on it and Dark. So not very effective, but we are trying to get the boost there. We allow the Dark Pulse to go through. I want to see how much it would do. See, it did quite a bit of damage to the Spiritomb. Spiritomb's not fully powered up, but it is a good indication of how it will perform. And there's our defense. It rose, and so did our attack, but it doesn't really matter. We got off a couple hits to Lucario and fall. So here, I was thinking, I'm an idiot. That's what I'm thinking right now. I should have just blocked it. I was thinking I miscounted the moves. I didn't think he had enough. Obviously, he did have a Shadow Ball, and I should have just blocked it anyways, because there's no doubt in my mind I could get to the Thunder Punch and would have won. So, mistake on my part. Make sure you use those shields effectively to win the matches. Of course, these are all just practice matches, so learn and move along to the next match. So here we go, Spiritomb versus Toxicroak. We hit that Ominous Wind, and let's see how much this does. He blocks it, and then we're going to go down here to Mud Bomb. So not a bad matchup, though, for our Spiritomb. Of course, not fully powered up, and now I'm choosing what I'm going to go in with. So I decided to go with Hitmonchan to get some damage off. Unfortunately, I miscalculated, and that wasn't good for me. We do hit a Pup into a Gallade. He blocks it, so now we have one shield. We've set up properly now on our Raichu if we can get to it. Leaf Blade's going to do quite a bit, so we're going to block that. He actually used Close Combat, which was a little surprising of a move there. So Thunder Punch, and then he's got Muck, which is just going to annihilate us. But we are going to get to a Wild Charge. Let's see how much this does. You can see it does a ton of damage to Muck, but not enough. And we get hit with that Dark Pulse, and we go down to that. You can see that Wild Charge almost took out Alolan Muck there. And that is why there is so much hype around Alolan Raichu, is because of how much damage it can quickly do in the meta. Like, it can, with shields down, that Wild Charge does so much to a lot of things, and it powers up very quickly. So I think that's why I think it'll pair well with something that can get the shields dropped quickly. Obviously, you could pair it with, I think it pairs okay with Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan beats a lot of the fighting types, and then Alolan Raichu gives you coverage for the flying types, everything that defeat Hitmonchan fairly easily. Alolan Raichu in the right situation, though, can do really well, and it's very cheap. And it's only 10,000 Stardust, 25 candies to power it up. So it is very cheap in that sense. To get the second move, of course, you can find him in raids fairly easily. And here you can see it against a Umbreon. I decided to just let it fall to the Umbreon to save that shield for Spiritomb. And here we go with Ominous Wind. You can see we hit Ominous Wind, not very effective, but he might have blocked it, I think. So foul play. So we're down 0 shields for all of us. We hit another Ominous Wind. There's that Ominous Wind. And then there we get the attack boost. So this means that we are going to be doing super effective damage with that. And so we take down, and Lucario comes in. We hit the Shadow Ball right away. This is going to knock out Lucario. No chance it doesn't, since shields are down. And we take down the team. That power up, or that boost there, saved the game. And that is why I think Spiritomb is a solid choice. Obviously, you can't rely on those boosts all the time, but when you get them, it is amazing. So here you go, Alolan Raichu versus Toxicroak. We've got to block this Mud Bomb because it's going to do a ton of damage to us. We hit the Wild Charge. Let's see if he blocks it. He does, in fact, block it, which is fine. We go back in, and we hit a Thunder Punch real quick. And let's see if he blocks this one. He does not. He almost goes down to that. So boom, there we go. And that's the thing. You can see how quickly we charge up those moves and how quickly we can get off a couple there real fast. So Shiftry just going to do a ton of damage to our Alolan Raichu. Obviously, with that Razor Leaf, we bring in Toxicroak doing a ton of damage to that Shiftry. We're going to block this move. It's a Leaf Blade, and you can see our counter is just annihilating that Shiftry there. So hit a Mud Bomb. He's got to block that with his Skunk Tank. Of course, you guys know from Twilight, this is going to be a great matchup for us, doing a ton of damage with that Mud Bomb, and we can get to it very, very quickly. So we win that match, no problem. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this video so far. If you are, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys are finding if you guys are using Alolan Raichu. I think it's a great budget pick myself. It's good in the meta. I just don't know if it's like the greatest. It's not the master of the meta, I feel like, but it is really good. So there you go. We can see we won another match against Toxicroak there. I do like showing that because you can see with one shield we can beat Toxicroak pretty much every time, even if they shield once, because we can just get those Thunder Punches off so quickly. Here's Toxicroak versus Umbreon, and they hit us with a Foul Play, and not going to be very effective, of course, against us. So we hit a Mud Bomb right back, which they're going to be forced to block. They switch out into Lucario. Let's see, we are doing quite a bit of damage to that Lucario. They're going to have to shield this Mud Bomb if they want Lucario to survive. They do. We actually do take down Lucario to almost no health. We're in a pretty good position here. We send out Alolan Raichu with almost no health. And we've got to hit something fairly quickly. This is going to end the video right here on this Wild Charge, and boom, Umbreon is down. Just barely win that one. Thanks guys for watching the video. I know it was a little bit longer than I normally do on these battle videos, but I did feel like I just crammed in a ton of battles into this, and I wanted to show you guys how good Alolan Raichu actually is. The pluses, the minuses. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys like the video, I appreciate that. Like, subscribe, do all that business, yada yada. Thanks again for watching the video, and until next time, battle on.